2-1 now, but as I say, he's got that carrot in the background. If he were to get to the semis here, he could get into the Tour Championship. But he's got to beat this man first. O'Sullivan played better yesterday, I think, than against Michael White. He saw off Luhajs, and there was a key moment in frame 6 where, trailing 3-2, Luhajs missed the yellow off its spot for 3-3 effectively and lost 5-2. Still best of 9, and the winner will play either Ding Junhui or Shaun Murphy in the quarterfinals tomorrow. And really, any combination, that'll be a great match. Let's see who comes through this one. The world #1 and the 7-times world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan gets day 4 of the World Open underway here in Yushan, up against Hossein Vafaei. I think all the bad blood is in the past now. They've played since. Of course, they did embrace at the end of that match at the Crucible. But it doesn't mean this man won't be very determined. Any win over O'Sullivan, particularly at the moment, he's certainly one to savour. So I'm sure he will give it absolutely everything. Neil Foles alongside me to enjoy it.
Yes, hi Dave, and hello to anyone watching, wherever you are watching from. It should be a very interesting match. I mean, clearly the matches for O'Sullivan are getting more difficult by the round, as it kind of should be. Michael White, Luhajs, and now Hossein Vafaei. A more difficult opponent each time. Yes, I mean, the one win for Hossein was in that qualifier for the German Masters. I don't think Ronnie was flat out in that match, quite honestly. It might have been the reason why the bad blood existed, because Ronnie smashed the balls all over the table one frame from the break-off. But it is in the past now. It is the only win that Hossein can boast against him, so it may not count quite in the same way as a win today would.
6. 7.
O'Sullivan, he's been playing okay, he's been scoring well, but everyone's been scoring well this week who's been winning, quite honestly. One thing he does do is know how to ease his way into a tournament. I mean, he's such a prolific winner over 3 decades. He knows what's required, so while you're winning, your game can go on the up. And he knows that.
We're just past 30 years. In fact, 31 years, I should say, 93. He's missed that one. I was going to say since his first quarter-final. He's trying to reach his 143rd, but he has missed there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be quite a way off from those sort of shots. A bit like that yellow you mentioned of Luhajs off the spot. I mean, he missed it by a long way, and that's why it never went in. And that shot of O'Sullivan's was nowhere near. A little unfortunate on that. I mean, it's one of those shots, you've got to play it in a certain way. You know the cue ball might be heading towards the middle, but how else can you play a shot when you're cueing from the side, the bottom cushion rail? That's a nice, encouraging long red to wipe out the memory of the previous miss into the same pocket.
Yeah, so just to clear up what I was saying, in February 93, he got to his first quarter-final in a ranking event. He was only 17 then. And if he won today, he'd be through to 143rd. He's not here for quarter-finals, obviously. He's here for titles. Well, he's missed again, though. And just flicked that red out and left it on for Hossein.
Yeah, in and out start from O'Sullivan. 2 misses you wouldn't expect at all.
I think even though obviously they did sort of make up in Sheffield, there's still an edge to this match.
7.
But also, O'Sullivan is the man, of course, and a victory over him, it would give Vafaei a realistic chance of getting in that Tour Championship, which would be a massive achievement.
Doesn't have much of an angle here. I mean, he wanted to be further up so he could directly go into the bunch. It's going to have to be a topspin attempt to go in, I think. Maybe he's going to stun hard, in fact, directly in. He's a bit straight for this shot. And that's the problem. Maybe on one to the left corner, but you're not going into the bunch with a lot of speed. Of course, the other thing, he had a recent disagreement, Hossein, with Mark Williams, didn't he? Didn't shake hands with him at the end of a match recently in the World Grand Prix. I'm not sure if that was resolved or what, but you know, he's had a few words with some of the real big hitters in the game. Not frightened of anyone, is he? Just
needs to have a row with John Higgins now, and they'll complete the set for the class of '92. It's Mark's birthday, actually, today.
Indeed.
So I suspect he won't be watching, but anyway, if you are, Mark, happy birthday.
Yes, he's the first of the class of '93 to be in his 50th year. 49 today. May explain why he didn't play in this event, of course. Well, he just didn't fancy it, perhaps. Birthday week. I think finally on that, it'd be quite hard to find anything disagreeable about John Higgins on the table, wouldn't it? You know, he's pretty gentleman. The other two are as well, let's be honest. But I was saying is whatever it is to get you stoked up, I suppose. Didn't work at the Crucible. Let's see how he plays today. He'll be buoyant, I think, and certainly heartened by a couple of bad misses from O'Sullivan already. So, chance to make an early mark in this match.
6.
Very talented player.
7.
It's just a question of going on to the very next level now. Getting firmly established in the 16, which because he's not at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't lack confidence, and the Crucible, obviously we remember the match they played, but the first round against Ding, he was absolutely superb. Beat Ding 10-6, having qualified. Of course, he could potentially play him again in the next round.
15.
Well, that seems to have just sprung a little bit.
Yeah, but it's okay. He's slightly too far. Yeah, he's been in the 16 at 15, but he's not been a fixture in that the elite as of yet. He's good enough, I'm sure of that. He's a classy player.
20.
I think ultimately he's got a good temperament. You know, he's aggressive on the table. I don't think he's frightened of anybody. And it's important to get a good start against O'Sullivan, and he must make this a winning visit now, frame winning.
29.
Well, that's an interesting shot because he's played high on the black. Could have played up on the blue. The left-hand red of the three, as you can see, goes. Nice shot. That's well played, well crafted there. There must have been a temptation to go up the table on the previous red.
37.
And now the bottom red pot, so he's working this break very well. On the brink of winning the frame.
45.
Yeah, no, Sullivan missed, for him, a couple of regulation pots in this frame, which in itself will give Vafaei hope.
52.
I'm sure he's aware of the Tour Championship and the top 16, all the rewards that are in the background for doing well in this event. But he wants to win another tournament. Of course, he's already won the shootout, but this event, very prestigious. It's 170,000, remember, to the winner. I think these Chinese ranking events are growing in stature all the time, actually. So to win one would be a great achievement. And it's a tough section he's in. He's got O'Sullivan to play Dingle, Murphy. The likes of Robertson are in that half, Selby, Trump in the other half. He's going to take some winning this tournament, but he doesn't lack confidence.
64.
Well, there haven't been many shocks, have there? I think many of the leading players, remember the aforementioned John Higgins went out early, but so many of the leading players are still in the draw. So it's going to build up nicely over the next few days.
The thing, of course, he hasn't played on this table yet. O'Sullivan has probably been camped out on it this week, so this has been a good chance to get to grips with it, and he's passed the test immediately in frame one.
79.
So the black for a clearance of 86 to start our fourth day here in Yushan. Yeah, lovely break from Hossein Vafaei of Iran, who takes a 1-0 lead over the 7 times world champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan. In frame one, of course, he won't be the only Iranian on tour next season because Amir Sarkosh came through the Q-Tour playoffs just last week in Bosnia, so there'll be a compatriot for Vafaei. Of course, Sahil Vahidi in the past has been on tour as well, but good to see another player from that part of the world coming through. It is very popular snooker in Iran. Obviously, Vafaei is the flag bearer there, but he will not be alone next season. There are now 4 tables here. Karen Wilson and Ben Wollaston are on table 3. Barry Hawkins and Steve Maguire, table 4. And in fact, Maguire's just won the first frame there against Hawkins.
It's not the worst thing to happen, that in-off. I mean, it's not quite the in-off you would play because, I mean, I've seen players actually going off deliberately in situations like this. I don't think that would be a natural in-off. It would be a shot a billiard player would be very proud of, to going off from that thin angle. But now that it did go in, it's not the worst outcome. It's a good shot, that. To play the safety shot where you hit side cushion before black cushion to get the cue ball down the table. You've got to be accurate on those. It's a good exchange, this, but some good safety shots played on both sides. And that cue ball has been finding the bulk cushion with monotonous regularity so far. Again, well played. And lots of tapping of the table. He's a strange one, O'Sullivan. Occasionally he'll do that with an opponent, compliment them on all the shots. Other players, he just won't do anything. Doesn't even put his hand up for a fluke or anything. So it's depends who he's playing as to whether he's complimentary. Maybe and that is a ploy. Probably if it is, he would have learned it off of Ray Reardon, who had all of the little moves. Did Ray? All of them within the game, just little things he did to maybe unsettle players and not so others.
Vafaei 4.
Amazing that he found the gap there.
I can remember Ray Reardon actually, Dave, asking for the balls to be set up about 4 or 5 times in a row. They looked fine to me. I was playing him, and he was adamant that they were not in the triangle, in the pyramid perfectly, and he demanded they kept being replaced. I don't know what it was all about, but something was going on, and he was laughing all the time, all the way through it. That's Ray for you. Great character.
Yeah, I mean, it's 20 years, isn't it, since he worked with Ronnie when he won his second world title, and he certainly learnt a lot from him.
Just a minor adjustment there to make. Terrific shot. He now wants the cue ball to slow down, though, which it may just have done for the yellow.
Three.
Yes, I mean, it was a terrific opening red, but it is an awkward table. Sullivan will need to knuckle down, I think, from the frame one, where, as we say, he missed a couple of chances. He might just be tuning in, but he had 2 very comfortable reds that he missed. He's played a good shot there. He's on one. He deserved to be. Not a great angle, though, to get from red to colour.
9.
That'll do nicely. Don't know if the pink's available. I wonder, would he consider just going into the pink here to free it? Because pink and black currently look completely locked down. Deciding against it there. Something's got to give here. It's hard to see this break continuing for long where the balls are unless he frees something.
15.
Doesn't feel like an O'Sullivan break this, where he's sort of scratching around trying to keep it going. He's doing a good job of it so far.
21.
Well, surely this time he's got to move something. Yeah, into the pink, freeing it.
26.
But not getting a lot of reds out in open play.
$27.
Been hard work, isn't it, for 27 points? Again, trying to open reds up, which he's done. Cue ball just running a bit, though. He's running a lot, actually, towards the pocket. Wow. Well, he tried to, as I say, get everything into play. He was unlucky to going off.
Yeah, it's just, as I say, it didn't feel like the kind of table that would suit O'Sullivan's game, because he can do most things, don't get me wrong, but it was an awkward setup of the reds. High value colours were out of play, but now, because it's gone wrong and because he went in off, the table looks a little bit more appealing now. Hossein has come to it.
7. 8. 14. 15.
Yeah, it's a little awkward where he's finished here.
21.
This angle up for the pink from here. Yeah, it wasn't a nice shot, that. He almost tried to dismiss it as if it wasn't an awkward shot and just get on with the game, but actually he finished it in a place which was not a comfortable shot. Rolling the red through, getting on the pink was his downfall there. It feels an important frame. I know it's early and they all are. Yeah, it's just the second frame of this match, but if Hossein could find a way of going 2-0 up, it would set him up nicely.
Well, more than a little fortunate he tapped his cue on the table to acknowledge that. This is all part of it, of course.
Yeah, the predicament here is because he can get to reds. Yeah, there's no problem with that, but not a thin edge of one to get back down to where he's now. This is a good shot. This really is perfectly judged. That's another good shot, isn't it? Goodness, he's played some well-crafted safety shots with that target area behind green and brown. I mean, there's always a chance you can run into the reds here without doing too much damage. It's the kind of frame which wouldn't suit either player, in fact. Did he hit the black?
Foul and miss.
It's amazing how you can hit that
7.
one ball of all those. It's no use to you. You might think, well, you're saying it doesn't suit either player. Are there any players it would suit? Well, I could think of someone like a Mark Selby would not enjoy a frame like this, but he probably would end up winning it. I mean, he's been scoring brilliantly all week, Selby, so that's not all he can do, of course, but frames are a little bit fragmented like this one. He seems to come out on top more often than not.
Yeah, apart from anything else, it's a test of concentration. Every frame presents a different sort of challenge, of course. Just joining us, Vafaei made an 86 clearance in the first. Well, he sort of half thought about taking the pot on there, but he's changed his mind.
Let's see, the first time for a few shots of Sullivan's actually had a shot at a red. It's been in behind green and brown for the last few. Not that he's got an easy shot, but at least he can see one. It's not what you expected in this match, a frame of this kind. Both players trying to outwit each other with safety. But all of these frames, of course, count equally. Got to find a way of winning them. Well, it's the shot from the player's perspective, and they've got a lot of distance between the balls. The problem is the red more centrally in the table. If you play the left side of it, there's every chance he'd hit the red and the pink on the way back up. It's a very big target. The natural path back to bolt would be across where the red and the pink are, so he's not playing that. Ooh, has he left the red? Has he left the red? That will annoy him if he has, because he's not really trying an awful lot with that shot. Trying to play a containing shot, but he hasn't contained him. So in the end, O'Sullivan getting the chance from that exchange.
Six. 7.
Yeah, I'd be annoyed to have gone a bit too far for the perfect angle on the blue.
10.
Very hard to know how he can get the frame one here. Those two reds almost glued to the black cushion. Even a cannon would do well to move them. And of course he'll need them both. There's only a few in front. So interesting to see what he does with the next colour
17.
after this red. How he tries to engineer the reds into an open position.
18.
So here's the shot angle on this pink, coming in from right to left into the two reds. Missed the pot.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 18.
Feel like there's a lot of snooker to be played in this frame yet.
Yeah, concentrating on the cannon, missed the pot, but still he's looking a bit annoyed actually in that seat. I think he probably recognises what you're saying, which is that this frame's still got a long way to run yet. Judd Trump has won the first against David Lilley and has a chance to make it 2-0 already. That's on Discovery Plus. Karen Wilson has taken the opener against Ben Williston, and Steve Maguire and Barry Hawkins are 1 apiece. Hawkins had a 1-2-9 break. Well, that's opened things up.
Yeah, that's now become a more conventional frame, but the reds have been dragged down to the black cushion over the course of those safety shots. It's a good shot from O'Sullivan. I mean, he played it with a little bit of left-hand side, check side. It's a really good safety shot, that. He felt that that would be his way, I think, of getting to the red and, of course, getting it in behind yellow. No, that's also very good.
Well, we had the perfect view of that. It was always going in. It's one of those frames, you put a lot of effort in, someone's not going to win it. Being put back in.
Now, here could be a chance for O'Sullivan to get the cue ball in behind low-value colour. Just went into them, as you saw.
Rather different frame next door. Judd Trump's made a century, 73rd of the season. He's playing a few exhibition shots, I think, at the end of it. So that's all a bit carefree and cavalier. This is much more cagey.
Oh dear. Well, that is the worst thing that could happen on that shot. Bringing the red out by the black, it was his saving grace where it was. But now that he's moved it, there's nowhere to hide.
One. 8.
That's a nice shot. So this is just a golden chance to get the frame one. Needs this brown and then yellow and green, and it'd be a frame that he'd be pleased to have won. Both players probably pleased to see the back of it as well. Balls have not run very kindly. Still got just a fraction to do.
13.
Needs to get in behind the green. Should do it, but he's still got to make the shot. Perfect.
15.
Yes, he kept his discipline, he kept his patience, and he's got his reward. An un-O'Sullivan-like frame, but he's won it.
Exactly, Dave. I mean, it's the kind of frame that you'd very often lose, you know, in amongst all of the high-scoring frames, but he really needed it, and he found a way of winning it.
Yeah, it makes it even more dangerous, doesn't it, if he's winning these sort of frames. Not bothering with the black. So a lengthy frame, but it has gone to Ronnie O'Sullivan. It was in the balance right until that last shot Vafaei played. And we're all square here, and Yushan won apiece. Ranking title in China was 2017. Before the pandemic, he quite often didn't play in them. He's only played in this tournament once before, in Yushan. But clearly he's got a new approach to China now.
A strange shot, that, wasn't it? He obviously tried to just catch it very thin. Of course, the problem with that shot is there might have been a double kiss, the red going across to the left when the cue ball comes back up the table. Then there's a possibility of a double kiss. We might get to see that shot played presumably differently or better. It was an odd shot that he tried. I think he's got a chalk mark on the cushion, which is obviously a clue. There's the chalk mark, so he's basically saying, well, it's almost a guide. I think the double kiss could be close here. If he's playing this same shot, he's just got to watch the cue ball coming back up towards the red. Well, he's played it much better this time. There's no semblance of a double kiss there.
Ben Wollaston, meanwhile, has had a century to level up with Karen Wilson, 105 from Ben. Well, he's caught them really thick, those reds.
Yeah, because when you do, the cue ball doesn't really go very far at all. Just limped his way back up to just past the blue spot.
Well, it's a good scoring chance, this, isn't it? Look at the balls here for Hossein Vafaei.
Yeah, I mean, he played the first shot well. That was a good red to get to the right angle on the blue.
Sort of blowing away the cobwebs of frame 2. With what he hopes is one visit here. He's made 29 centuries this season, 5 more than last season. Of course, there's been more snooker with the return to China.
6.
Yeah, they played in the semis of the UK. I mean, that was obviously a great run for Vafaei to get there in the first place. He beat the likes of Murphy and Zhang Anda. Of course, he'd been in great form. Since then, it's got to be said the results have dried up a little bit.
7.
But already in this tournament, he beat Liam Pullen, the young rookie, to qualify. Then Graham Dott and Robert Milkins, 2 very solid players there. So 2 good wins. But this, of course, is a completely different test against O'Sullivan.
12.
Always, you know, it's going to be an occasion, big crowd in, most of them supporting Ronnie, let's be honest.
13. $19. 20.
Yes, I think frame 2 is going to be something of a one-off. I can't imagine many frames with this pairing are going to be long and scrappy, tactical. Both brilliant scorers. And as Dave said, when this chance came, it always looked a good one.
26. 27. 34. 35.
He's another player who likes to get on with it. And of course, O'Sullivan, one of the quickest players on the tour still, despite his advancing years. But Hossein likes to play fluently and quickly, not overthink shots.
42. 43.
'So building up a good lead here. The
15.
the three reds in the middle of the table are going to take him very close to the line in the frame.
51.
If he takes them with high-value colours, those remaining couple of reds, it'll be enough. And he's on that bottom one as well. So things looking very promising for Vafaei, this frame.
58.
The O'Sullivan safety shot, he caught too much of the bunch of reds.
59.
And the reds spread everywhere, and the cue ball didn't make it very far down the table.
$66. 67.
Well, the pink will put him 69 ahead with 67 on.
Yeah, I think he was a little disappointed, though, that the red went on top of the black, because that next red is the one that will certainly win in the frame. It is one snooker, as Dave said, so... I mean, he could obviously has a little, almost a free shot at this, I think, down into the green pocket to get the frame secured.
Hossein Vafaei, 73.
So not quite done, but in a strong position. Danger for Vafaei here. The black obviously in play, so Sullivan has the chance to maybe clear some of these reds away with blacks.
1.
But now, of course, he needs 2 snookers. Now he's taking a yellow, so that maybe just eases a bit of the pressure on Vafaei.
4.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a frame O'Sullivan is about to steal, does it? Not quite. A couple of snookers are needed, not able to get it down to one red left here in this break.
Well, he's missed the red, so
RonnieO'Sullivan 11. Hossein Vafaei
that's a
4.
concession. So Vafaei
Hossein Vafaei.
was presented with the chance, and he made enough in the end to retake the lead.
Thank you.
2-1 it is to him, with one frame to come before the mid-session interval. Yeah, it's balling up to be a really interesting climax to the tournament. Of course, quarterfinals tomorrow. The final on Sunday for 170,000. And of course, that's all ranking points as well. So it could propel somebody into a crucible seeding position who's not already there. Neil Robertson, of course, is in that position, isn't he? If he could win the tournament, that would transform his entire season.
Got a bit lucky there. That was a double kiss that was not intended on that thin safety shot on the red.
One.
Really got hold of that cue ball. Was not meant to cannon into the blue. So there's seemingly only a safety shot here. Not sure if he can get to the pink, but it would be a difficult pot if he is. Well, he can. It's really tough, this. Oh, great shot, that is. He can only just about see enough of it to pot it. I assumed when he got down quickly that he was playing off the red up the table, but none of it. That's now got him a chance.
7.
Terrific shot.
Eight.
Well, he's made 3 centuries in the 2 matches he's played so far.
15. 16. 23. 24.
Playing with a trace of right-hand side hole for the black. He thought about going up the table for lower value.
$31. 32.
Used all the pocket there. He wasn't entirely sure about it. He's got a habit, O'Sullivan, something that you're really not supposed to do, but he's always got away with it. He changes his mind down on the shot
39.
sometimes. Tony Drago used to be able to do it as well, very instinctive player from Malta. But they
40.
always say that if you're thinking about playing a shot and then you change your mind, you must start again on the shot. O'Sullivan seems to have got away with that all of his life. Just stays down, decides on something different and executes the shot perfectly.
43. 44.
Now, is he going to try and avoid the 2 reds here, or is he going to play the cannon? He could still get into the 5 reds. Yeah, he's played through the gap. The young one deserves it if he is.
51.
A little unlucky there.
RonnieO'Sullivan. 51.
That was very lucky. Very lucky. Because he actually played quite a poor shot there. Hit the red too thick in contact. What a fluke.
Three.
He's eyeing up the red by the blue. Of course, he's going to have to get that out of the way because the blue is just blocked off where it is anyway. So once the red is potted, it'll open things up a bit. But he's not perfectly on the red. Nor is he perfectly on this red because he's going into other balls if he's not careful. Just screw across the table, but he's going to come very much into the 3 reds here. Well done. Really nicely held.
4.
Well, we're going to find out how costly that fluke will be, how significant. And he's got reasons to believe he can get back into this frame, whether he goes on to win it, because it's not the easiest table.
Yeah, it's one of the bizarre things about snooker. You know, you can play a bad shot and profit from it, which he's looking to do now. You know, if you're in the 100 metres in the Olympics and you fall over, you're not going to win the race. But here, all sorts of things can happen. And, of course, that's the mental test
10.
of the game. It's how you handle both sides of it, either getting the luck or having it against you.
11. $18. $19.
Yeah, he's gradually got out of position more and more in this break, the last 3 shots. He's more around the angles here. Much too thin an angle on the black to hold for a red. Got to be careful not to miss the pot on these. So much thought going into the cue ball.
Hossein, Vafaei. 19.
Well, the big question is, does the red go to middle? Sullivan, surely, if it was so straightforward, would have played it by now. Yeah, it flies in. It's actually positionally a good shot from Hossein, but like I said, no use to you when you miss the pot. So O'Sullivan not in need of the two reds that are down on the cushion.
6. 7. 14.
One snooker required. Successfully laid, of course. I think 2-2 is about right, isn't it, from what we've seen?
14.
It's not been fireworks from O'Sullivan, but there's been plenty of commitment from him. Won that very scrappy second frame, quite lengthy. Remember, the winner plays Ding or Murphy, so whoever comes through either match, it's going to be a terrific quarter-final. Sure, Murphy seems to be playing well again. Ding, we know, will have a lot of support here. If it's him against O'Sullivan, that really is a blockbuster.
I suppose if a mobile phone's going to go off, it on this table anyway, it's not the most crucial juncture.
Well, I thought that was someone on a xylophone, actually, but maybe it was a phone. I don't know. Don't know why they would have one here, but... yeah, the frame's done, and O'Sullivan and his supporters can be happy that he's levelled up.
Yeah, they're probably not a sign that says no xylophones allowed, so you could probably bring them in without anyone stopping you.
10. 12. 15.
We've seen all season when O'Sullivan is at an event, he's fully committed to it. He doesn't play in everything, doesn't have to. That's the status he's earned. But when he's here, his mind is on the title. And, of course, he's won 5 already this season, some real big ones.
RonnieO'Sullivan.
Certainly not had things his own way here. It's a fascinating match, and it remains so as they go to the interval. All square, effectively a best of 5 when they return. 2-2 between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Hossein Vafaei at the mid-session interval. So Ronnie O'Sullivan to get the match underway again. 2-2. He's been twice trailing here to Hossein Vafaei and has twice recovered. The head-to-head coming in 4-1 to O'Sullivan. Most recent meeting, the UK Championship semi-finals this season. He won that one 6-2. Well, the in-off may not be the worst result there, I guess. At least puts distance between them. Didn't want to rattle the pocket there and leave a red on from short range. Vafaei's made the bigger breaks in the match so far. 86 and 73. O'Sullivan's best so far, just 51. But he's dug in, he's been determined, he's been focused and he's been patient. And of course all those virtues are a massive help in this sport. Well, trying the thin glance there. It wasn't quite as thin as he was hoping, which hence why the cue ball hasn't made it to the bault line. It's quite an intricate shot. Quite often, first time round, you see the player miss the reds altogether. But but he calls it a little too thick. Well, this red's still got a chance. Well, in frame 4, Vafaei actually had quite a big fluke. O'Sullivan's had one here at the start of frame 5.
Three. Four. Ten. $11.
Well, he's overscrewed a little bit there. It's the same shot as he's played 2 or 3 times. He's almost getting into the cue ball too much on certain shots. And of course, his cue ball is usually immaculate, control-wise anyway. Concerned about the red. It's going to be under his left leg here that he doesn't brush into it. He's not that close, in fact. That yellow was quite similar to the line of the shot that Liu Hushan missed against him yesterday on the colours.
$14.
He's got the makings of a good chance now. This from O'Sullivan. Black's not really too badly. I mean, it's just away from his spot, but it's very accessible. There's not anything in its way. Whatever it is in the crowd that made the noise is back.
Yeah, I mean, it's often the case after an interval you'll hear that, but we were hearing it before the interval as well. The referee, again, just asking people to switch them off or certainly put them on silent. O'Sullivan just getting on with it, though.
$27. $28.
Well, that was a little fortunate. He put his hand up there just to... I don't think it does ease the blow too much for your opponent, really, if you just puts his hand slightly upwards. But I suppose it's just an acknowledgement that he was lucky again. I think he'd have been quite unlucky not to be on a colour there, but he did get a nice nudge.
$34. $35. Well,
He won't be very happy about that. I mean, you know that shot is on. I think he tried to sort of stun it and finish the other side of the middle and play him behind a red. But as soon as he hit it, he knew he'd done the only thing that would have ended that break at that point. It's not the easiest route back to bulk, it appears. Can't get to anything on the left side of the table.
Four. RonnieO'Sullivan, 4.
Interesting. Might not be the worst outcome, that in off. Of course, a lot will depend on whether O'Sullivan cues in this long red from ball in hand.
Yeah, he's certainly not at the top of his game. And there's a little bit of reaction now from him. I can tell you, Karen Wilson has made his 60th century of the season, 104, to lead Ben Wollaston 3-1 at the interval.
Six. 7.
Vafaei must sense an opportunity here. He's played O'Sullivan before. I mean, the Crucible is the obvious one where he's just been blown away. That's not happening here. He's getting a lot of chances, actually. A lot of table time. Bearing in mind, O'Sullivan had the fluke at the start of the frame, had a bit of luck positionally later, but
10.
the balls are all there for his opponent now.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's not been overwhelmed in this match, and that can happen against O'Sullivan. Of course, you can end up meeting O'Sullivan on the wrong day, and you don't really have a chance. Do a lot of sitting down watching him break build. Today's not been like that. So, you know, if you are going to get a result, if Hossein is going to do it today, then
17.
you know, it is a good chance for him to do so. Well, he may have played that. But, if so, it's really helped him. He's in prime position now. He's a few behind, so he'll need all of the reds and a bit more. Problems might occur with the reds around the black, but it looks pretty much as if he's got a terrific chance now. Getting back in front.
$25. $30. $31.
Just could have been a problem, that left-hand red, but clearly he's right behind it, so he's constructed the break perfectly. If you're O'Sullivan sitting in your chair, you think, well, where can any of this go wrong?
39.
He is going to need the brown, but even then, the only position from green to brown might be the problem. If he's right behind the brown, the way these tables are playing, I wouldn't fancy him to miss. It's the only possibility, perhaps, for O'Sullivan to come back to the table with a chance of winning the frame. Otherwise, it appears as if Hossein, who won the first frame, is going to be back in front.
52. 54.
Yeah, it's not great. No, it isn't great. He'll have a shot at the brown. He's got to ensure that he puts this. But he's not going to be close to it, so it's just a glimmer of hope for O'Sullivan.
57.
the pocket. Luharsha missed a much easier yellow in yesterday at a critical moment in frame 6. Just checking the scores. He knows he only needs the brown. And he's potted it. That did help. He didn't have to play on the blue.
61.
22 in front. 1 snooker needed. And he will not be playing for it. Terrific blue. So Vafaei again coming in with a sizable break here. And that's been one of the stories of the match. He's now made the 3 highest breaks. O'Sullivan's best still only 51 in frame 4. So despite the little bit of fortune he had at the start, O'Sullivan was unable to capitalise, and Vafaei stepped in with a frame-winning break. And for the 3rd time today, he's 1 in front at 3-2. Vafaei's making the higher breaks. The 3 highest in the match have been made by him. So O'Sullivan may need to find his scoring boots. It's an interesting juncture of this contest, I think. Remember, the winner plays Ding Junhui or Sean Murphy. They're live in our 2nd session, night session in Yushan, lunchtime in Europe and the UK.
Doesn't appear that he's left anything there. It's a terrific shot. Even Hossein was applauding that one. Beautifully cued. Well, he gave the bunch of reds a hefty old whack, but nothing really came out. This is a more difficult red than the one he's knocked in if he plays it up the table. Is that a plot? Sullivan doesn't think so. I was just thinking, actually, Dave, these two, they had that big needle match, didn't they? And a lot was made of that game at the Crucible, which O'Sullivan won easily. Hossein smashed the reds all over the table in anger early on. All of that. Now they seem to be best of pals. I mean, Hossein was applauding that pot. Ronnie's been apologising for the flukes and tapping the table. Big smiles. It's all changed, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Vafaei got something out of his system, didn't he, with all that? And I think Ronnie probably looked at it and thought, well, I've been in aggro over the years. I can kind of almost see his point in a way. But I think what's interesting now about this match, we've been talking about the tables have been playing really good for scoring. And yet we've got the greatest ever break builder who's struggling actually to make big breaks. His highest is still only 51. And that is a dynamic that he's going to have to change, I think, if he's going to win. But yeah, I mean, the match has been played in a lovely spirit. Yeah, I wonder if Hossein will be
Just trying to get the cue ball to the black cushion, or if he's going to attempt a double of some kind here. To the right middle. I mean, they're set up so well, these reds now. When the chance does come, it would be a really good one. There's so many reds in open play down the centre that the chance could be significant. Sullivan's got to ensure that the cue ball heads right the way back underneath the black cushion here. That's his main priority. And that's what he's achieved. Now, a plant to middle, I think. This is what Hossein is looking at. It looks on. I don't know if the left-hand red is slightly in the way of the plant, which would throw it offline. If the two reds above it were not there, I think it would be very makeable. May well still be, but he doesn't want to make contact with the red above the plant because it would just throw him off centre. Very nice. Well, that was very handy. That came along at the right time, and now significantly Hossein Vafaei has got the chance. Yes, he might be able to play on the blue here. And he wouldn't normally play that sort of shot, but the table's playing easily. To get the blue on its spot would be very handy. Especially with the next red easy, the red to the right middle. Blue on the spot, and he's away.
Eleven. $12.
All about keeping calm here and
19.
just focusing on what he's doing, but he must sense a big opportunity for what will be a big win, of course. And sets him up.
20.
He's obviously not through yet, but if he were to win, it sets him up for what will be a memorable few days, because not only the title, but also a chance to get in the Tour Championship, get to the Crucible as of right. All of that is in the background. It all comes from success for Vafaei.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's not in the Tour Championship but still in this event can find their way into it. And with such a big first prize, it will just leapfrog so many other players. Of course, he's on the brink of place in the Tour and maybe a seeded position at the Crucible. All these things are possibilities for him still. Although the draw is very difficult, playing O'Sullivan and to play another leading player. He's good enough to beat anybody, though.
Yeah, and I think he definitely brings something to any tournament. We saw, of course, him win the shootout a couple of years ago. Quite emotional scenes there. He'd had a family bereavement. He's his own man. He doesn't mind saying what he thinks. Creates a few headlines for the sport, which can't be a bad thing.
$35.
Well, that was not a particularly good kiss. Nudged into the three reds. Hit the wrong side of them. The other side, I think he'd have been on something for sure. And now, almost without flinching, he's going to try and keep this break going, but he's not got an easy shot to do so. He looks like he's playing the double to left middle.
Hossein Vafaei, 42.
He'd be annoyed not to have made more than 42 out of that, because it was a golden chance to get another frame on the board.
Yeah, this red is possible. That's the other thing. Having not nailed the double. So it could be a big turning point. We'll see. O'Sullivan's in.
Yeah, I mean, those chances where the cue ball ends up at the black end and all the reds at the other end, usually when you do get first in, it's quite a significant visit to the table. But as I say, he didn't kill it off by any stretch, and now O'Sullivan gets his go.
9.
Just to say, Barry Hawkins is 4-1 up on Steve Maguire, so Hawkins
16.
frame from reaching the quarterfinals here. And of course he is in the Tour Championship, so he's at the moment a 16 seed for Sheffield.
17. Twenty-two.
Did it well. He did just brush the red on the way through, which I wonder means he might not be able to get through to the pink, which is what he intended. I think that's what it, yeah. It would have been tight anyway, actually, past the green. There you are. He's played to screw onto the brown full ball to leave the red to middle.
25.
And he's played it left-handed on top of that. Didn't get the cannon. Now this is where things are getting very difficult now. How's he going to keep this break alive? Because it's starting to dry up. Well, I'm not too sure whether he played on reds to left middle. But if he's ever going to pop that left-hand red to the middle, he couldn't be
20.
better in behind it to do so. Seeing the way they lined up, he probably
29.
did play on them. They were both available.
Thirty-three.
We've already seen that the pink
34.
doesn't go cleanly into that pocket. I mean, pink from the green spot would be the ideal ball to play the cannon, but I just don't think it goes easily enough. Might have to actually play the green through the gap. It's not a natural cannon now. If that pink was completely available to that pocket, he would play pink onto the red. It's just too tight, I think. It's very hard to play that shot because there was too much angle on the green. You had to play it slowly to try and stop it coming across the table too far, the cue ball.
RonnieO'Sullivan.
So successfully back in the frame. It's going to be a close one, this, and a very important point of the match.
Yeah, it feels a vital stage, doesn't it? 4-2 or 3-3, bit like yesterday, really, with Lou Hossein, different sort of frame. Of course, O'Sullivan at that point was in front.
Well, he's looked at the potting angle. He's not been completely flawless at long range today.
比赛的时候，请观众不要走动。
Well, it's a difficult shot. It's not really time to be distracted by somebody moving around. Could have been a lot worse, I think, where the balls have landed.
Yes, cannon the blue, and the blue is also in the way of a sort of shot to nothing to left corner, so got away with it.
It's a brilliant shot because he didn't really like the cueing. He tried 3 or 4 ways and he was worried about hitting the pink with his cue. That pink also is in the way of the yellow going to its own pocket, so that's brought about another slight problem for O'Sullivan. Positionally, he's got to play a different route onto the yellow now. If anyone can, he can. Seems the kind of frame where there's always something in the way of sort of plain sailing.
Eight.
He saw the problem. He felt the best he could do finishing there. Still not over this frame because a little straight on this is going to be a real test of his cueing to get from green to brown.
13.
This is the final part of it, isn't it? Knocking this in. He's done well here, you know, O'Sullivan. It's a sort of frame. Can think of times when he wouldn't have come through all the obstacles that were in his way, and there've been a few.
Vafaei was nicely in, wasn't he? He played that cannon that went wrong, tried the double. O'Sullivan has sort of metaphorically rolled up his sleeves here, just seemingly done enough. One snooker needed already. He's played some big shots as well. The yellow has won. The blue's in. So it's going to be 3-3. He's winning frames that maybe you don't associate with him, but the point is he's winning them. Having to really battle here, but he's standing up to it, and once again, he's made it all square. It's now best of 3, and he's getting the frames on the board. He's won that last one, so 3-3. This is a race to 5, of course. Winner plays Ding Junhui or Sean Murphy. We'll have that live later on. Judd Trump against David Lilley, looking like 4-2 to Trump. Lilley needing snookers in frame 6. Barry Hawkins 4-1 and in front 41-0 against Steve Maguire. And the other match in this session, Karen Wilson is now 3-2 over Ben Wollaston. Wollaston's just won, or was about to win, frame 5.
Well, nice pot, but there was an element, I think, of leaving the cue ball away from all the action. So he didn't leave anything in the way of a red. He might still play the black, though, and he's going up into reds. Got to make sure the pot. Well, he's gone past all of the reds, so whether anything comes of this depends on his next shot. I think he'd get through to something to the right corner.
Hossein Vafaei 8. Hossein Vafaei 4.
So how costly will that be? Hossein can line the cue ball up at the angle of his choice in for the red to the left corner. Most players will always line it up just off straight, that sort of shot. You would rarely see a player put it completely straight. It's the slight angle taking you in towards the black, but also maybe just for the potting sake. I think you'd like to have just a slight angle to aim at. And now, what an opportunity.
8. Nine.
Yeah, has to get over the disappointment of losing that last frame when he, again, had a really good chance early on. I think you have to admire him because he's had a lot of trouble over the years with getting visas and, you know, qualifying for events, not being able to make the final stages. Just on the cusp of establishing himself in the top 16.
17.
He's very likeable, isn't he, as well? You know, he's a determined player on the table, quite aggressive player, but, you know, to speak to him, he's very courteous, very polite to everybody. Very likeable player in person. And as you say, he's not had it easy.
No, he's from a territory that, you know, has not historically been associated with snooker in Iran, but as I say, there's another player,
24.
Amir Sarkosh, will be joining the tour next year, so... You know, we're here in China. Obviously, Ding started the boom here, and who knows if he's really successful, what can happen in his own country.
Nicely played.
25.
It's quite a thin pot, and you had to hold it. But it's like anything, you can get a lead of 50, 55 points, whatever. But if you do leave a chance, with the tables playing as they are, it counts for very little. So he's got a lot more to do yet.
31.
So it appears he's on something to the right middle, not quite as he'd like to be. See, as ever, there's something in the way. The pink to left middle, that would have been such an easy red for him. Maybe there isn't anything to the right middle. I think that one through the gap will go, but it's not a nice shot to have to play. Can he see enough of it? Very reluctantly, and through gritted teeth, had to play safe there. From opening the reds like that, it seemed unlikely he'd be on nothing.
Barry Hawkins, our first winner of this session. He's beaten Stephen Maguire 5-1. He'll play Neil Robertson or Chris Wakelin in the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Oh, what a great shot. What a terrific shot it was. Now, that was the point I was making. Hossein with that lead, he made a lead of 50, but it isn't enough, basically. That's not one of O'Sullivan's best, however.
8.
Didn't really want to be playing this red. A rare positional lapse.
Well, something in his eye line. It may be a photographer because the audience aren't down that end, so it'll be something else. Or whatever it was, it didn't help him. It was the shot before, though, wasn't it? You know, he put himself under pressure there. So, Vafaei, 42 to the good. What a chance for him now to go 4-3 up as the referee lays the law down again.
1.
Well, hang on a minute. Where's this finished? He's finished nowhere. He might be able to knock in the blue, yeah, but it's a shot you really don't need to have to play. Well, if he misses this, he'll be not amused. This is not an easy shot under the circumstances. So often, though, those shots go in now. Players don't tend to miss them.
6. 7.
Just wonder if O'Sullivan would have been better off not playing that rest shot. It's a thinner red to the right corner that he might have played. He might have had more chance of potting, but in hindsight, that is obviously. He never looked comfortable on the red with the rest, did he, O'Sullivan? That might be a little bit of extra pressure because of the shot before.
14.
Couple more reds needed for Vafaei to go 1 frame in front for the 4th time today. All their previous meetings have been one-sided, including, of course, the one he won 5-0. He lost 13-2, 6-2 last year to O'Sullivan.
23.
This is on a knife edge, but at the moment, he's going to be, if he pots this frame from the quarterfinals. So another dramatic frame.
30. 31. 38. 39.
Saw the confidence in which he played that red down the cushion, that they are pretty friendly along there.
46. 47. 52. 52.
So, Hossein Vafaei that time did make the most of the chance after O'Sullivan missed the red with the rest for the 4th time. Reached the quarterfinals at the expense of Ronnie O'Sullivan. Vafaei has made the 4 highest breaks. O'Sullivan's highest break only 51. But is this the moment where things change? He's potted some good balls along the way. Just been out of position a couple of times, a couple of frames got bogged down. He's won a couple of frames like that, but right now you feel he needs a bit of the old magic to come through this match because Vafaei is looking confident.
I mean, for a neutral, a 4-4 would be a very interesting match, very exciting. Obviously for Hossein Vafaei, another win over Ronnie O'Sullivan, aside from that 5-0 in the qualifier for the German Masters, which Ronnie, as I said earlier, he sort of smashed the reds all over the table off the break one frame to the point where a red went in to a pocket off the break-off, which you never see. He wasn't fully tuned up for it, so it'd feel a better win if he could get it.
Oh, much better. Yeah. I mean, he didn't want to be there, did he? But he wants to be here. That's clear.
Well, Ronnie told me that he didn't even have his own cue with him for that match. He used a different cue, and that was from Ronnie himself. Anyway, that would be put aside if Hossein Vafaei could win in such a big tournament as this against a great man.
请观众把手机调成静音。1.
It's a good shot. I think the best part about that shot was holding the cue ball and not seeing it drift into the bulk area. There's quite an angle on this. Crucially, in first. Because it doesn't mean you're going to win the frame, but it means you've got a good chance to. So is there more scoring from O'Sullivan? As Dave pointed out, high break of 51. And all around him, there's been centuries on all other tables. From most players. A lot of adrenaline in that shot. He's not badly placed, actually. When you get into the cue ball into bulk, there's no guarantee you'll have a colour to red option, but he has.
Ben Williston has battled back to 3-3 with Karen Wilson from 3-1 down. Trump still 4-3 over David Lilley. Hawkins through, of course, 5-1 over Maguire.
16. $21. 22. 29. 30.
Yeah, played that with a little bit of screw and left-hand side, reverse side to get the cue ball up the table. What a chance to level the match this is. I mean, he's done a lot of hard graft to get the balls there.
36.
Been slightly out of position more than once. Seems to me on these tables you can be only half in, really fully with the balls as you want them, but the breaks just continue. Somehow you don't fall out of position enough to actually miss one.
43. 44.
And it only seems to have gone 4-3 a few moments ago, but it might be about to be levelled. Reds in the middle of the table will clinch the frame.
It's been happening a lot this season when he needs to find something. He's done it. We've seen it in a couple of finals, the Masters, the World Grand Prix when he was trailing in both. We've seen it in other matches along the way. This is already the best he's looked all match.
51.
He's about to beat his highest break, but of course needs to continue, get the frame one, and then it's the decider. But going into that decider, he will have gone from
58.
looking like he was struggling a bit to looking like Ronnie O'Sullivan again.
59.
So this is the point. The next red goes in, 2 million in. Yes, he's moved up a gear, which
65.
he's made a sort of 30 odd years of doing. He had to find extra. In all sport you get that though, don't you? Players who can raise their game when they need to. It's not as if they're not always trying.
72. 73.
Now, of course, it's down to Hossein to raise his again. It's going to be a very interesting view in this deciding frame.
80.
Yeah, even the break-off shot is O'Sullivan to
81.
break, isn't it? So, I mean, that could be a key shot, actually. But he's going to go into it not only feeling good, but just serving a little bit of notice to Vafaei that now he's only going to need one chance, potentially, to get it won.
85. 86. $92.
What a shot with the rest.
Well, we said he had to find something. My word, he's done that. What a wonderful break. And this yellow for his 52nd century of the season
98.
to set up a deciding frame finish. Brilliant stuff.
100. 103. 107. 112.
So his best was 51 coming into the frame, but Ronnie O'Sullivan, so often in his career, when he's had to find something, he has done, and he's done it again, at least to set up this decider in style. Total clearance of 125 from Ronnie O'Sullivan to make it 4-4. But it's all about this frame now for a quarter-final place and a meeting with either Ding Junhui or Shaun Murphy. Well, he did push a red up the table, so it's not the best. It's not the best break-off.
Well, you called it. It might be a significant shot. I think more and more these days it has been. He desperately wants this cue ball to slow down. And it's just about in time because the yellow to the corner pocket, down towards the reds. Good chance if it goes in.
Three. 4.
So the red right in the middle of the bunch there, the one directly below the pink.
9. 10.
Again, though, the same rules apply, that if you get in and make 40, 50, and you leave your opponent in, you're not favoured even to win the frame. Now, this is the shot. He's going into the res. I don't think he wanted to be quite as low down the table with the cue ball as he's finished.
Here's what I found.
Jesus.
18.
It looks good. So he has his chance. He can't say if he doesn't win, he didn't have a really good chance. All about keeping his composure now.
$25. $26.
Yeah, a little touch cannon there, which is absolutely perfect. And this, what a
33.
chance, goodness me. I'm sure the adrenaline rush of beating O'Sullivan is there. Oh, wow!
Hossein,
What a miss! Wow. Well, I've seen nothing like that. Okay, we had Hossein missing that one and Lu Hushan the yellow yesterday. I think that red was even easier.
Absolutely incredible. What a chance it was. He was imperfect, really, wasn't he? Perfect position. Well, it's going to be hard to take if he doesn't now win this match. It's out of his hands.
$6. $7.
I think Hossein is stunned sitting there. He looks as if he just can't believe what he's missed. He's missed the easiest ball. And O'Sullivan, if he does go on and win the match, he'll be quite relieved. O'Sullivan and Hossein will be devastated, I should think. He's always made the point, even through the times when they weren't friends, that O'Sullivan is his hero.
15.
And he had a chance to beat him here. Whether he gets another one, and he might, depends on the next few shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's even worse than the yellow from Lu Hushan because this is the decider. I mean, he was in to win as O'Sullivan gets into the red, or tries to.
Yeah, I think he looks like he's on the red to middle anyway, but the cue ball was
22.
spinning quite a lot there backwards.
Just to say, Judd Trump has won 5-3 over David Lilley. So Trump into the quarterfinals.
Little sarcastic shot under his breath there, knowing that he hasn't played a good shot, O'Sullivan. He didn't mean to go that far on the red. Oh, goodness me, how did that go in?
29.
How did that go in? That was never in. Which makes you wonder how Hossein missed his red, because these tables are generous. It's very so brilliant. You're just able to produce a shot like that out of nowhere. Blew around the angles.
35.
Well, Trump and O'Sullivan have been the two players of the season, and part of that has been their brilliant play, but part of it has also been opponents just not killing them off when they've had the chances. I don't think you'll see much of a better one than the one the same Vafaei had in this frame.
40.
No, I'm still a little bit shocked about it myself, quite honestly, that he missed it.
41.
Now he's got the angle here. It's very well played on the red, and he's got a slight angle brushing into the two reds. Key shot. It's not quite worked out. This next red to middle,
47.
very awkward. So he's 14 in front. He's trying to work out what he needs. The answer is all three reds. Oh, brilliant shot that is.
48.
It made it look simple. It wasn't. Queuing over a ball round two cushions.
$55. 56.
It was crucial they finished top side of the blue. He didn't want to be playing this pink. The last thing he wants is to have to play this and play behind the red in case he did miss it. Anything but straight on the blue, he had a shot, and he hasn't really. It's going to have to be the pink. The frame lives on. The frame lives on.
62.
Yeah, Vafaei stood up straight away, didn't he? When he realised it wasn't on the red.
Well, he'll come back to the table, able to win the frame. Whether he's got a shot, I don't know. But amazing how this game throws up scenarios like that. He just couldn't get behind the red, whichever colour he took.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 62.
He's not got the cover either. So, very much in the match still, Hossein. He's got a chance to redeem himself. And that is a pretty good shot. Priority always getting the red safe.
Yeah, no security, of course, for O'Sullivan. The balls are basically on their spots, so he just needs the red, but they're all there if Vafaei gets a chance at it. Very exciting finish here.
Foul and miss. Hossein will play 4.
I think it's one of those little gambles you take. You can afford to do that once, maybe twice. Clip the red thin, knowing that if you miss it altogether, you give away 4 points, not the end of the world. So he might try it again. He's looking for the thinnest of contacts. And what he wouldn't want if he missed it and hit the bump of the right middle and leave a free ball, which could happen. But he might try the same thinnest of snicks again. No, he doesn't want that one back. That was a good shot. Very well played. Decision time. Do you roll up to the red or do you play it at pace? Well, it's a good shot O'Sullivan's played, but he didn't know a great deal about the snooker that he's managed to get. Referee Zhu Ying is having a terrible time with the crowd, trying to pacify everybody, getting very excited. She's got to keep her eyes on the table and off the table as well. Doing a good job.
Just has to get this safe, doesn't he? Otherwise it's over.
He's played a great shot. That is a terrific shot. He was in a lot of trouble there.
Well, 26 in front, 27 on, so it's a great pot, but not quite over the line yet.
Well, what he could do is try and pot the black and snooker himself on the yellow. Because he would snooker, obviously, Hossein had it if it doesn't go in. But if it went in and he snookered himself, Hossein would need 2 snookers, so he could do that. It's not the worst option. I can't believe he played it at that speed. The greatest player of all time, but I honestly think that play that slowly, he wouldn't have missed it. Didn't understand the speed of the shot.
So Vafaei hanging on here by his fingernails. Well now, Neil, another twist and a chance for Vafaei.
It's almost the snooker gods, isn't it? Maybe he didn't think that Ronnie played that shot right on the black. I'm sure he could have potted it playing it slower anyway. What a chance.
5.
Pink to black the shot, and it looked like he'd thrown it away. What an emotional roller coaster this has been, this deciding frame.
9.
No, he wants to have a slight angle, and I think it's absolutely fine just to stun down right in behind the black.
20.
You could write a book on this deciding frame, couldn't you? It all has come down to the last ball. Hossein Vafaei for a famous victory. In it goes, incredible. He thought he'd thrown it away, I'm sure. O'Sullivan couldn't quite get over the line. He's gracious in defeat. Vafaei is a massive win for him. Still with a chance, of course, to get in the Tour Championship, to get to the Crucible as a seed. But the main thing is, for him, he's beaten the world #1, Ronnie O'Sullivan, in an absolute thriller. 5-4 on the black. And he's into the quarterfinals tomorrow to face either Ding Junhui or Shaun Murphy as the clamour begins for pictures.